Okay. I say hi. Hi, my name is Rachelle Faulkner. I was born Rachelle Renee Faulkner. Um, when I converted, I changed my name to Jennah Yasmina. I was born in the city of Chicago, the South Side, the projects called Robert Taylor Home. It was kind of gritty and grimy, but it was about 10 blocks from Wrigley Fields, a famous baseball um, arena. And my parents were born in, my father, he was born in Memphis, Tennessee. And my mother was born in Crowder, Mississippi. They're both from the South. They're children of the Northern Migration. Um, they're Christian. They both were raised Christian, Southern Baptist in particular. And they went to church their whole life. When they became adults, they really didn't go to church. But it was still a big influence. Like the Christian Southern Baptist religion was still a big influence in our home. So that's all we knew, Jesus and, his disciples. That's how I was raised.
What they advise about religion? Did you go to the church? Talk about that kid's stories.
Okay, well, the most times we went to church was during like the big holidays, Christmas, Easter. That's when I went. I went to Sunday school. I was in the youth choir. And so, but the kids, my brothers and sisters, we went. My parents didn't really go with us, but they did make us go. So Christianity was, like I said, a big influence on my family. My grandmother, my father's mother, was a missionary. And so that's basically it.
Could you talk about you said that he was missionary. I mean, he were going around to,
his mother.
To Christianity, yeah?
His mother was.
Do you know, did you met with her?
No.
You don't, just you know that she was
Yeah,
missionary.
I just know she was very religious, and she went and spoke to people about Christ. So that's what I do know.
Well, I wonder what the people in that period, black people, they became a missionary. Why? Because of they getting money or?
No, well, most of them, it's kind of like Mormons. When they're young, they go out and preach the gospel, according to them. But that's how missionary work works. They usually are what we call like sanctified or anointed. It means like really religious. So they feel the need to go and speak about Jesus and God. It's not like Jehovah's Witness, where they go door to door and kind of knock on your door. But you go and you speak about the word of God to whoever you want, or you go to churches and different churches and speak about God. And that's what she did when she became Christian, when she became more involved in the Christian faith, because she had a past life as well.
When you finish your describing and speaking, you can say, okay, then I understand and go to the next question.
Okay.
And in that period, do you have any memories about your religious life or school period? Okay, let's come to that. I was about ambience, where the still hometown,
I was going to say my sister, her father, his parents were ministers, and they had their own church in the basement. So when we would go over there, that's what we would do. We would go to their basement and they would conduct service, and that's what we would do like every other Sunday when we go visit her grandparents. So they were like ministers, and that's how I remember my childhood as far as religion. It wasn't like a big, like I wasn't like in the church like someone like consistently like every day, but it was a big influence on our life. Like I listened to gospel music. Every Sunday, we listened to gospel music every Sunday. And it wasn't until I moved to California with my father, I moved here, my father would wake me up and I would have to read the Bible. Like, that was what I did. That was my homework. Read the Bible every day. And so that's the kind of impact church had on me.
Okay, let's come to other question. Please talk about your education, starting from the primary school. This is where you study. Even you can say the name of the schools, if you can remember. I mean, how was your school time passing? You liked school? I mean, generally all
okay.
subjects. If you like, I ask one by one, or yeah, it's okay.
Okay. I started out school in Chicago, kindergarten, I believe. My first school was called Crispus Attucks, and I went there for kindergarten. It was horrible, but I was a kid. I would hold on to the pole and I wouldn't want to go. It was bad. And then I went to a school called Edward Hardigan. I went to that school. It was nice. It was a good school. That was also in Chicago. It was, I don't know, I had good teachers. I met a lot of friends there that I talk to today. And it was really nice. I went there until I was in the 4th grade, until I was 9 years old, which is the 4th grade. Then that year I moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's another state. I moved to Wisconsin and I started attending a school called Granville. And it wasn't really diverse. My sisters and brother, we were the few blacks that went to that school. So, and it was in the suburbs, and it was like, way out. So, I liked it. It was something different than I was used to in Chicago because of the setup of the school. It was like a big, what they call pods, and the classes were separated by chalkboards. That's how they separated the class. It was very few classes that was enclosed. So, but it was fun. I had my first job there. I would work, I would sell pens and paper and, school supplies. And,
do you have any memories from that period?
Yeah, it was kind of a tough period because I was living with my sister and her husband, and I was taking care of them because my sister was having a lot of issues. So I was taking care of my nephews, and I would have to go to school. I would take care of them, and I would have to go to school. And there they send you to your next grade after the 5th grade. After the 5th grade, you go to another school. So their grades went up to the 5th. And I had to take a lot of tests. I had to write a book. And I wrote the book. I won. I remember winning the book contest. And but I had to do all of this, missing school like at least twice a week. I had to accomplish that. And I did. But it was kind of rough. It was a rough time.
Okay. Finish?
Yeah, and then I went to the 6th grade in Milwaukee. That was middle school. It was like, I guess a time where, you kind of discover yourself as a girl, and, it was fun. I was a cheerleader. I was on the drill team. It was really nice. It was my first experience with someone from Istanbul, from Turkey. They put on like this big celebration for us. I remember that. And it was the coolest thing ever. So I remember that. And my 8th grade year, I became really sick. I missed my graduation. I didn't go. It was tough, but I graduated. And I went to, that school was called Daniel Webster middle school. Then my 9th grade year, I went to a school called Harold S. Vincent High School. And it's built on a farm. Wisconsin is like, it's called the Dairy State. So it's a lot of farmland. It's like that. There's a city, but my school was built on a farm. So it was cool. It was big, huge. It was cool. But that year, my mom and I were like really getting along. So I moved to California, which is how I came to California my 10th grade year. When I was 15, I moved to California, and my father homeschooled me, which is why I would read the Bible every morning. He homeschooled me for about 3 months, and we were staying with my aunt in South Central, and it was a culture shock because when you come to California, it's very, very diverse. In Wisconsin, it's not like that. It's either black, white, few Hispanics. So it was really a culture shock coming here. And I was in South Central, which is what I saw on television. And it was like 5 or 6 months after the riot. So I was like thinking about that. And so I was kind of nervous. And my father, he wouldn't put me in school because of that reason, because he didn't like the area. So that's why he homeschooled me. And I moved to Hawthorne, which is how I ended up at Lusinger. That's where I went to school until like the 12th grade. And I left. I became pregnant. I moved out. I got my GED. And I've been on my own since I was 17.